So you may have noticed that we haven't talked a lot about personal training with the ISO chain. And if you're new to the squad, so my profession outside of creating content on YouTube, so I'm a personal trainer. I train online and I train in the home and or at a gym setting. And I waited a few months until I got used to the ISO chain initially before I started passing it on to my clients, because I just wanted to make sure the ISO chain wasn't a BS product. And when I realized very quickly that it wasn't, that's when I felt comfortable passing it along to my clients so that they could also reap the benefits and rewards associated with isometric training that I had experienced and that others were experiencing via the Facebook group, other squad members on the channel, etc. And so from a PT standpoint, we'd have to ask ourselves, who is the ISO chain going to appeal to? Now, if we look at all the benefits associated with isometric training, the logical answer is everyone. But for those that don't know, they might need this type of training explained to them in a way where they understand the value so that they would feel comfortable incorporating it. Because if they don't understand the value, then they're going to see it as a waste of time. And I know I actually have a few squad members on the channel that are personal trainers, and I don't know if you've run into that. I've only run into that once, and I started to feel the vibe. I'm really good at feeling vibes with my current clientele, but also potential clients where I can tell that they're just doing it because I told them to, but they're not really feeling it, you know, just feeling out the body language, and that's okay. Chances are it wasn't explained well enough, whatever it is, ISO chain or whatever, and I needed to explain it more so that they could see the value, so they could see the benefit for them, why they would do it for them. So the answer to that is just, it's going to appeal to the person that understands the value of isometric training. A lot of people do not understand the value of isometric training. They think it's gimmicky, they think it's dumb. According to TikTok, a huge amount, and I mean, I'm talking tens of thousands of people, guys. Tens of thousands of people have dropped the comment, bro, just go lift weights. That shows you just how much people don't really understand the value, because if they did, then they wouldn't say comments like that. And usually, you know, the following has grown on TikTok. It's more than quadrupled from the time I first started. So we're almost at 21,000 followers on there. I can't believe that myself. And some of our followers understand the value of isometrics because they did proper research. A lot of the youngins on there don't really know anything except what social media influencers teach, which is just go lift weights, bro. Hence why they say that, because they don't know any better. And so I've always gone with this: a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So I'm not there to convince them, I'm only there to show them another style and why it would be beneficial. But I'm not going to force them, I'm not going to tell them they're X, Y, and Z because they're not utilizing this type of training. But I will tell you this, that usually when I mention Bruce Lee utilizing the ISO chain and I show them the picture, it usually gets them to stop talking. Usually 9 times out of 10. There's still been some where it's just like, oh well, Bruce Lee's dumb, and I'm just like, Bruce Lee's dumb? Wow, bro, okay. Athletes, seniors, and powerlifters would be the demographics that would stand out as far as wanting to actively pursue the ISO chain and incorporating that into their weightlifting routine. Seniors, showing them the value of performing a 1x6 so that they could chill, you know, like they're retired, 9 times out of 10 they just want to chill. They did all that working, now they just want to relax. Sure, do a 1x6, do it for 10 minutes, unless for some reason they want to do more than that, and then they can go chill and relax, you know. Luckily for everyone involved, the ISO chain and isometric training in general doesn't take a lot of time. For athletes, however, once they are shown the value, and I don't know how long it's going to take for these ISO chain videos to trigger the algorithm. It is definitely picked up a lot since we first started on the squad. So I'm talking when this starts to hit 20, 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers is when it's really gonna start to get talked about, because there's gonna be that many more people that understand the value. And it's only a matter of time until athletes see the value and how it's changing up their game and how they perform out on the court, on the field, whatever arena it is that they play on. They will notice it. This is not a training modality where it's just like, man, I really hope this works. It is very noticeable and it's very powerful, and it also makes that athlete very powerful. It gives them an unfair advantage, taking in the amount of training styles that are out there in the world right now. To add this one will give someone an unfair advantage. There's too many studies right now, and you know, we have freaks like Alexander Zast carrying 2,200 pound animals on their back, Bruce Lee moving faster than the camera could catch back in the 60s, where there is no CGI, it is what it is. Dennis Rogers bending steel, just iron, come on. The benefits are there for all three of those demographics. And by the way, anyone can benefit, but those are the three that would really be looking for iso chain training. The main benefit is going to be to the joints. They're going to have a stronger and denser muscle. Yes, that's going to be absolutely fantastic for anyone utilizing this training. But the number one boon for these three demographics are their joints. Nothing will take you out of your sport faster than an injury. And they are common because you are forced to be explosive. You can't be an elite athlete and you're slow. You can't just be protecting the joint. You have to move. And having a load off, knowing that your joints are a lot stronger 10 minutes a day, is going to be the difference between extending, keeping your career how it could be, and extending it another 2, 3, maybe 5 years. The modalities for each, for the seniors, I'd go 1x6 unless they want to do more. The athletes, I would go 3x6 unless they want to do more. Powerlifters, easily 6. All three of them could benefit from 6. Now, going more back to the PT style, once they see the value, now it's time to train them. When we are training clients on the iso chain, it is of utmost importance to teach form. It seems like we just get on the iso chain and we just start ripping for the sake of just ripping. So, oh, how hard could it be? Just get on the chest, the shoulder press, and just rip 100%, and it just doesn't matter as long as you're pushing everything. Yeah, but you better make sure that your core is engaged. Are the glutes engaged? Are they tight? Is your back warped? The abs aren't engaged. Is your chin up? Are you exhaling? Or are you holding your breath? For the bicep curl, are you warping your back? For the Zercher squat, are you using your back, turning the movement into a Zercher deadlift? Or are we underneath the bar with our chin up and blasting through our quadriceps, hitting the quadriceps, a little bit of hands, and the glutes, a proper squat form? And if you're unsure on how to perform these movements, I have an entire playlist on how to perform iso chain exercises. You can check that out right here. The form is still what matters on those older videos, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen those already. Once the form is down, showing the client the movement, having them try it, and showing them the display, I'm telling you, once they see that display, they get hooked. Everybody loves the numbers, myself included. That's the number on the display is part of the reason I'm still doing these videos. It's addicting. You just want to beat your previous numbers. Like, you just want to, natural to want to progress and become better than who we were yesterday. That is progressive overload at its most basic and primal form. And then there's the motivation, because there will be days, and I'm sure a lot of squad members have run into it, where you hop on the iso chain, you got 8 hours of sleep or more, you're ready to go, you ate all the right foods, you're not tired, you rip into that bar and your number is less, and you're just like, how in the world, how is it lower than yesterday when I was dog tired and I got a record high? How does that make any sense? Listen, it happens to everyone. It's part of the game. It happens in the weight room. It's happening. I know I'm not the only one that's had those days. You just go in the weight room, it's just like, why do these feel an extra 20 pounds heavier? It's just a bad day. Overall, as long as the overall trend of the numbers are going up, and that's usually how success works. It's never linear. It's usually failure, win, failure, win, failure, win, failure, win. That's usually how it ends up going. As long as the numbers are trending upward, that's what truly matters. Working through that with the client on those bad days are very important, because you don't want them to get discouraged. As long as they understand that that's just how the cookie crumbles. Wow, I actually used that analogy. Then they won't be that discouraged. And with PT, you have to keep the morale up. That is part of the game. It's motivation. We are motivators at the end of the day. Motivation is poor, you lose the client. It's our job to make sure that they understand the ins and outs of this style of training, what it's going to do for them, why it works the way it does. It's important to explain, especially because it's still it's a old training method, but it's newer now with all the iso chain training modes that we have on the iso chain bar. There will be a lot more videos with me training my clients on the iso chain. You haven't seen that many because I have them in a cycle right now. There will definitely be more personal training and the iso chain on the channel. My focus has been on other topics to discuss on the squad channel right now. But we do need to see it. We do need to see the coaching of training other people on the iso chain, because even if you're not a personal trainer, if you have other people get on that iso chain, like for a party, you know, or just a get together, just like, hey, you know, what's this? And you have them rip on it and their form is not right, they can really get hurt, especially if you tell them to rip in 100%. All right, guys, so just be careful if you are doing that. If you enjoy the content, be sure to drop a like. Go ahead and comment. It helps the algorithm out because a lot of people don't really realize that the iso chain even exists. And if they did know that it existed, it would improve the quality of their life for millions of people. All right, and if you're not yet part of the squad, hit the subscribe button. Come join the squad with us. Next video. Peace.